Most men wait for her to say, "I want you." But the smart ones know when she says this, she's already undressing you with her mind. Let's talk about the truth that most men miss women don't always speak in direct language when it comes to intimacy. She's not going to say, "Hey, I want to get naked with you tonight." That's not her style. That's not how feminine energy works. It's all about hints, tone, and the way she chooses her words. So listen. If she says this, pay close attention. She's not just being sweet. She's telling you she's ready. She'll say something like, "I feel so safe around you." Or maybe, "I've never felt like this with anyone else." You see, that's not small talk. That's a green light wrapped in vulnerability. That's her undressing herself emotionally, and trust me, emotional nakedness comes before physical intimacy. She'll say things that pull you closer, not just physically, but mentally. Like, "I trust you. I can be myself with you. I don't want this night to end. Now understand this, these aren't just words. This is the language of a woman who's shifting from guarded to open, from polite to passionate. It's her way of saying, "I want more of you," without spelling it out. The truth is, most women won't say, "I want sex." Instead, she creates space for closeness, for touch, for chemistry to breathe. She'll lean into you, touch your arm, hold your gaze a little longer, and the moment she says something emotionally intimate, that's your cue. But here's where most men get it wrong. They rush. They miss the beauty in the build-up. They ignore the signs and try to force the moment. That's the fastest way to kill her desire, because for her, intimacy starts with feeling seen, heard, and understood. So when she says, "I feel different around you," don't take it lightly. That's her way of lowering her walls. That's her soft yes without ever using the word. And the man who knows how to read that, the man who can be present, patient, and in control without pushing, he's the man she'll undress for emotionally, mentally, and physically. Because getting naked isn't just about skin. It's about safety. It's about trust. And when she says this, it means she's already halfway there. Let's talk about the truth that most men miss women don't always speak in direct language when it comes to intimacy. She's not going to say, "Hey, I want to get naked with you tonight." That's not her style. That's not how feminine energy works. It's all about hints, tone, and the way she chooses her words. Her signals are subtle, but incredibly powerful. She doesn't need to be explicit because she knows that the right man will understand her language without needing a translation. Her cues live in the quiet moments, in the softness of her voice, the lingering eye contact, the playful touch that lingers for a second too long. Most men miss it not because they aren't paying attention, but because they're looking for a louder, more obvious sign. But when a woman is ready to be intimate, she doesn't shout it from the rooftops. She whispers it with her presence. She'll say something that seems simple at first, but is loaded with meaning. "I feel safe around you." Now, don't overlook that. That isn't just a compliment. That is her way of telling you that her guard is down, that she's stepped out of her protective shell, and she's letting you see her as she truly is. That phrase is an invitation. Safety for a woman isn't just about her physical well-being, it's emotional, psychological, and spiritual. When she says she feels safe, she's not just saying you're a nice guy. She's saying that in your presence, she feels free to explore parts of herself she usually keeps hidden. That's intimacy. That's her slowly peeling back the layers. And if you rush that moment, if you try to make it physical before honoring the emotional, you'll miss the gift she's offering. A woman may say, "I've never felt this way with anyone else." That's another one. That's her revealing that something unique is happening, that she's experiencing a level of connection that surprises her. This isn't small talk. This isn't her just trying to flatter you. It's her way of saying, "I'm ready for something deeper," without spelling it out. And that depth includes physical closeness, but it's born from emotional resonance first. This is why so many men get confused. They think it's about looks or money or charm, but it's not. It's about whether she feels safe enough to be vulnerable. Whether she feels like you can handle her truth without trying to fix, dominate, or judge it. That's the kind of space where intimacy is born. And when she says something like, "I can be myself around you," that is the moment everything changes. You have to understand, when a woman opens herself up to you emotionally, it is a slow, powerful seduction of the soul. Her words are soft, but her meaning is fierce. She'll begin to let her guard down. She'll show you her real laugh. She'll wear less armor, and the more you make her feel secure, the more she's willing to give. But don't mistake her openness for weakness. It's not permission for you to take control. It's a test. Can you honor her softness without exploiting it? Can you be in the moment without rushing to the goal? Because here's the truth: when a woman wants you, she creates the space for it to happen. She doesn't beg, she doesn't chase, she doesn't need to be loud. She'll lean in close, she'll touch you lightly, she'll lower her voice, and when she says something like, "I don't want this night to end," she's giving you the clearest sign you'll ever need. She's not going to walk up to you and say, "Take me to bed." That's not how most women operate. Instead, she uses emotion, energy, and subtle suggestion to let you know what she really wants. Her language is layered, coded, and sensual. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the signals entirely. You see, when a woman desires intimacy, she speaks through her comfort, her body language, and especially her words. The real key is emotional alignment. When she starts to feel connected to you, when she feels seen, desired, and respected, her barriers come down without you even asking. She might say something innocent on the surface like, "I feel like I've known you forever." Now to you, that might just sound sweet, but to her, that's her way of telling you she feels safe, familiar, and connected, which is the foundation of intimacy. She's opening a door. She's testing if you can walk through it without kicking it open. It's in those quiet moments, when she chooses vulnerability, that she's truly inviting you closer. And if you know how to listen, not just with your ears, but with your intuition, you'll hear it loud and clear. She'll say something like, "Being with you feels so easy." That's not about ease of conversation. That's her way of saying, "I'm letting go of resistance." She's not putting up her usual walls. She's allowing herself to enjoy the moment, to be present with you without overthinking it. And that presence is the beginning of trust. Most men want to get physical too quickly. They think if the vibe is good, they should make a move, but that's not how you unlock a woman's desire. Her real arousal begins in her mind. She needs to feel emotionally safe, intellectually stimulated, and energetically drawn to you. When she says things like, "I love the way you think," or "I feel like I can talk to you about anything," she's giving you more than compliments. She's inviting you into her world. Watch her closely. She'll laugh a little more when she's around you. She'll lean in just slightly when you speak. She'll mirror your movements. She'll find reasons to touch you in subtle ways: a hand on your arm, a soft nudge, a brush of her fingers. And then she'll drop a phrase like, "I don't usually do this," but that's her tension meeting temptation. That's her heart battling her hesitation. She's telling you she's thinking about getting closer, about letting the moment evolve. And your job is not to pounce, but to stay grounded, stay aware. Let her feel that you're not just after her body, but you're tuned into her rhythm. Sometimes she'll test you with a teasing question like, "What would you do if we were alone right now?" She wants to feel your masculine energy, your confidence, but also your control. She wants to see if you can handle her without being aggressive. That's a moment of seduction wrapped in a playful tone. She's not just asking, she's imagining. And if your answer reflects emotional intelligence and desire without desperation, you become the man she wants to surrender to. The truth is, women communicate through the subtleties. Her language isn't always direct, but it's deliberate. When she talks about how your voice makes her feel calm, or how she could listen to you all night, that's not just flattery, that's desire speaking. When she chooses to stay longer, to text you late, to ask personal questions, she's not just being friendly, she's letting her guard down. And when she finally says something like, "I feel really connected to you right now," she's already imagined the next step. It's easy to assume that when a woman wants to get intimate, she'll make it obvious, but that's rarely how it works. Women operate on a different wavelength, a frequency of nuance, emotion, and suggestion. She's not going to come right out and say, "I want you now." Instead, she'll express it through what seems like innocent words layered with intention. If you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. But if you're aware, if you know how to read the moment, you'll recognize the signs as loud and clear as any direct invitation. She might say something like, "I've never met someone like you." It sounds polite, maybe even cliché, but when it's said with softness in her tone, with her eyes holding onto yours just a little longer, it's something deeper. That's her curiosity turning into attraction. That's her saying you've bypassed the surface and touched something inside her. She may start opening up, revealing details about her life she doesn't usually share quickly. That's not just because she enjoys the conversation, that's because she's feeling emotionally safe. And emotional safety is the gate to physical desire for most women. The moment she starts to talk about how much she enjoys your presence, or how being around you makes her forget about the world, that's intimacy building. She's not flirting casually, she's creating a container where she can feel something more, and you'll feel the shift too. The air changes, the silences become charged, her laughter becomes softer, slower. She'll look at you differently, not with curiosity, but with intention, and her words start to shift. She says, "I feel so relaxed with you." That's not just a compliment, that's her way of letting you know her body is softening in your presence. That her guard is down, that her mind is letting go. It's important to understand that when a woman expresses desire, it's rarely blunt. It's about timing, comfort, and chemistry. She might ask questions like, "Do you always make people feel this comfortable?" Or say something like, "I don't know what it is about you." These are signals. These are her way of leaning into the connection without giving it all away. It's her asking, "Do you feel it too?" without saying the words. And if you respond with awareness, not by jumping in physically, but by staying present, grounded, and calm, you create more space for her to feel safe leaning further in. And then there are moments when she tests the energy. She may say, "What would you do if we were alone right now?" Or even something playful like, "I bet you're trouble." These aren't just flirtatious jabs, these are doors. She's watching how you walk through them. Whether you stumble in with too much eagerness or whether you understand the art of pacing, the way you respond matters, because she's not just feeling for sexual energy, she's reading your respect, your confidence, your control. That combination is what makes her want to give in, not because she has to, but because it feels right. She might say, "I shouldn't be saying this, but..." That hesitation is her heart opening and her logic trying to catch up. That's desire wrapped in tension. When she says something like, "Tonight feels different," it's her confirming what she senses but hasn't fully spoken. These are the words that women use when they are emotionally ready. And emotional readiness always comes before physical intimacy. It's in the way she shares stories, the way she leans into your energy, and the way she finds reasons to stay longer. The signs are there always, but only for the man who chooses to listen beyond the words themselves. A woman doesn't need to spell it out for you when she wants to get intimate. She won't make a grand announcement or lay it out in obvious terms. Her desire shows up in the details in her behavior, her energy, and most powerfully, in the subtle phrases she lets slip when she's starting to trust you. When she wants to feel close, she doesn't ask for your body first, she asks for your presence. And when she starts saying things like, "I just feel different when I'm around you," that's her way of letting you in without exposing everything all at once. There's a certain softness in her voice when she's drawn to you. Her tone changes, her guard drops, she starts speaking in a rhythm that matches yours. She doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard, she wants to be felt. And when she's feeling that inner pull toward you, she might say things like, "I don't want this night to end," or "I feel like we have something special." These aren't casual compliments. These are subtle invitations into her emotional space. And for her, emotional closeness is always the first step toward physical intimacy. The more comfortable she becomes, the more she'll reveal. She'll mention things about her past that she doesn't normally share. She'll open windows into her emotions, her desires, and her insecurities, not to burden you, but to see if you can hold space for her without judgment. That's how she builds trust. That's how she measures whether she's ready to let her guard down, not just mentally, but physically too. You might not realize it in the moment, but when she says, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," it means she's already halfway to surrendering to the connection. Touch becomes more natural, not overtly sexual, but meaningful. She finds ways to close the distance between you. A touch on your knee, her hand lingering a second longer on your shoulder, the way she laughs and lightly nudges you. Those aren't accidents. Those are quiet confirmations. Her body is slowly aligning with her words, and it all builds up, piece by piece, until she drops a line like, "I feel like I can be myself with you." That is one of the most powerful phrases a woman can say. Because being herself means dropping her mask, removing the tension, and letting her desire lead without fear of being shamed or misunderstood. It's important to know that her readiness doesn't come from pressure or expectation. It comes from connection when she says, "I haven't felt this way in a long time," or "You make me forget about everything else." She's not just being poetic. She's letting you know that her mind is no longer resisting. And once her mind lets go, her body follows. That's why you can't force these moments. You can't rush them. You can only recognize them, respect them, and respond with confidence and care. Sometimes she'll test the waters with humor. She'll say something playful like, "You're dangerous," or "I can't trust myself around you." These are jokes on the surface, but listen carefully, they're loaded with meaning. She's telling you that the attraction is real, that the chemistry is building, that she's imagining what it would feel like to cross the line, and she wants to see if you're tuned in enough to catch it, if you're steady enough not to misuse it. Women don't open up like that to just anyone. When she begins to shift from playful to vulnerable, when her words begin to wrap around you like a blanket, it means she's allowing herself to feel more than just comfort. She's allowing desire to rise. So when she says those words, soft, subtle, wrapped in trust, don't rush, don't fumble, and don't ignore it, because in that moment she's not just giving you her time, she's giving you permission to see the part of her no one else gets to touch.